You're watching this because someone broke you. Not just hurt you, broke you. Shattered something inside that you're not sure can ever be whole again. And here's the question that's been haunting you in the quiet moments. Why did God let them do it? But what if I told you something that sounds impossible right now? What if the person who betrayed you, who crushed your spirit, who walked away when you needed them most, what if they were actually a tool in God's hand? Not because God is cruel, but because you were being prepared for something they could never destroy. Drop a comment right now if you've ever felt like your breaking was too much, too unfair, too purposeless. I want to see your story, because by the end of this video, you're going to see it differently. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your pain wasn't a mistake. It was an appointment. You know what breaking feels like. It's not just the betrayal itself, it's the aftermath. It's waking up and realizing the person you trusted most became the person who hurt you worst. It's the sleepless nights replaying conversations, wondering what you did wrong, questioning your worth, your judgment, your future. Maybe it was a friend who walked away when you were at your lowest. Maybe it was a family member whose words cut deeper than any strangers ever could. Maybe it was someone you loved who made you feel like you were too much and not enough at the same time. And you've been asking God, why? Why did you let them stay in my life long enough to break me? Why didn't you protect me? Why did you stand by and watch while I fell apart? I need you to hear this. God didn't just allow your breaking, He appointed it. Not because He's punishing you, but because He's preparing you. And I know that sounds harsh right now, but stay with me, because what I'm about to show you from Scripture will change everything. See, there's a difference between being broken down and being broken open. One destroys you. The other reveals what you're actually made of. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 3 biblical truths that will shift how you see your pain. Not to minimize what you've been through. Never that. But to show you that your scars have a story, and that story has a purpose. If you need to hear this today, hit that subscribe button, because your healing journey needs truth, not just comfort. The question isn't whether your breaking was real. It was. The question is, what is God doing with it? Let's dive in. Let me take you to one of the most brutal betrayal stories in Scripture. Joseph. Joseph had dreams. Big dreams. God-given dreams. And he made the mistake of sharing them with his family. His brothers, the people who should have protected him, hated him for it. They threw him in a pit, sold him into slavery, and let their father believe he was dead. Betrayed by family. Imagine that. The people who shared your blood, your history, your table, they're the ones who broke you. Joseph spent years in slavery. Then he was falsely accused and thrown into prison for something he didn't do. Years of his life stolen. Dreams deferred. Hope crushed. Every morning waking up in chains, wondering where God was in all of this. But here's what Joseph didn't know in the pit, in the slavery, in the prison. God was writing a story that would save nations. Fast forward to Genesis chapter 50. Joseph is now second in command of Egypt. His brothers come begging for food during a famine, terrified he'll take revenge. And Joseph says this in verse 20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Read that again. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Your breaking was not random. The person who hurt you had their intentions, probably selfish, probably cruel, probably destructive. But God had His intentions. And God's intentions always trump human intentions. Here's what I need you to understand. Your specific pain is matched to your specific calling. Why did God allow that particular person to break you in that particular way? Because the breaking you experienced is creating the capacity you'll need for what's coming. The depth of your wound is proportional to the height of your purpose. Think about it. Joseph's betrayal by his brothers taught him about injustice, which prepared him to administrate justice for an entire nation. His years in slavery taught him humility and service, which made him trustworthy with power. His time in prison taught him to minister to broken people, which made him compassionate as a leader. What feels like your greatest setback is actually your greatest setup. You've been asking, why me? Maybe the better question is, why this specific pain for this specific person? Because God doesn't waste anything. He's not breaking you down. He's breaking you open. He's not destroying your future. He's demolishing the limitations you didn't even know you had. Comment below, my pain has purpose, if you're starting to see your story differently. Let's build a community of people who refuse to stay stuck in their breaking. The person who betrayed you, they thought they were ending your story. But God was just ending the chapter you were never meant to stay in. Now let's talk about what happens in the breaking that could never happen in the building. Look at Job. Righteous Job. Blessed Job. Successful Job. He had everything: wealth, family, respect, health. He was the model of blessing. And then in one day, it all came crashing down. Everything he built, gone. Everything he loved, taken. Everything he trusted, shattered. And here's what Job discovered in his breaking. He had been trusting his blessings more than his God. In Job 42 verse 5, after everything, Job says, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." Translation: I knew about God, but I didn't really know God until everything else was stripped away. The breaking revealed what building could not: Job's hidden dependence on his blessings instead of the blesser. And maybe that's what your breaking is doing right now. Maybe God is revealing where you placed your identity, your security, your worth, and it wasn't actually on Him. Did you place it on a person who left? On a position you lost? On a dream that died? On an image you projected? Isaiah 45 verse 3 says this, "I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord." Hidden treasures. Riches in secret places. You know where those are. In the darkness. In the breaking. In the places you never wanted to go. See, comfort builds character to a point. But crisis reveals it. Blessing can grow you. But breaking exposes what you're actually made of. When everything is going well, you can fake strength. You can fake faith. You can fake wholeness. But when you're broken, there's no faking anymore. What's really inside comes out. And here's the beautiful, painful truth. God isn't afraid of what's inside you. He's the one who put it there. But you needed to see it. You needed to know what you're actually made of. Not the polished version you show people, but the raw, real, unfiltered you that only comes out when everything else is stripped away. Your breaking didn't create your flaws. It revealed them. And revealing is the first step to healing. Think about gold. You know how gold is refined? It's put in fire, intense fire. And in that fire, all the impurities rise to the surface so they can be skimmed off. The gold doesn't become gold in the fire. It was always gold. But the fire reveals what wasn't gold so it can be removed. Your breaking is doing the same thing. It's bringing to the surface everything that needs to go. False securities, toxic relationships, unhealthy patterns, misplaced identities. Everything that was never meant to stay is being exposed so it can be removed. And I know it hurts. I know it feels like you're losing everything. But you're not losing anything that was meant to stay. You're only losing what was keeping you from becoming who you're meant to be. If this is hitting home, subscribe right now, because you need someone speaking truth over your transformation, not just sympathy over your pain. The breaking revealed what building could not. And what's been revealed needs to be healed, released, and replaced with something stronger. Here's where it gets powerful. Let's talk about scars. After Jesus resurrected, after He conquered death, after He walked out of the tomb victorious, He still had His scars. John 20 verse 27, Jesus tells Thomas, "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side." Jesus could have resurrected with a perfect, unmarked body. He's God. He could have erased every trace of the crucifixion. But He didn't. He kept His scars. Why? Because scars tell a story. Scars are proof that you survived something that should have killed you. Scars are evidence that healing is possible. Scars are stronger than the original skin ever was. Your breaking left scars. And those scars are not marks of defeat, they're marks of victory. See, the person who broke you thought they were writing the end of your story, but they were actually writing the introduction to your testimony. 2 Corinthians 1 verses 3-4 says, "Praise be to the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God." Read that carefully. God comforts you in your breaking, not just for you, but through you for someone else. Your pain becomes your platform. Your mess becomes your message. Your test becomes your testimony. There's someone out there right now going through exactly what you went through. They're broken, they're questioning God, they're wondering if they'll ever be whole again. And they don't need a sermon from someone who's never suffered. They need a scar from someone who survived. That's you. Your scars qualify you. Your breaking prepared you. Your pain positioned you.